Hi, my name is Raina. I am the Community Engagement Specialist with the Etowah Foundation, and this is the Alumni Network podcast. In this podcast, we'll be interviewing former recipients, school administrators, and community supporters. But first, I will begin with telling you the history of the foundation itself. So beginning in 1982, the foundation started giving out scholarships to students in the Bartow County, Cartersville city area. And since then, we have given out over $6 million in scholarships to students in the area. But in 2022, everyone at the Etowah Foundation was like, how do we increase the impact of what we're doing? How do we serve students and families in the area more than we have in the past? In 2022, we decided to open future centers in all of the Bartow County and Cartersville city high schools. And what the future centers do is it is a full service center for students to go and get help for anything they might need for post-graduation. So that could look like applying for scholarships. That could be helping get your FAFSA filled out. That could be looking for jobs if a student isn't interested in going to college immediately and they want to go into the workforce. We help them fill out a resume. We help them curate a cover letter. And we help them look for jobs. In addition to scholarships and future centers, we also have the Bookmobile. The Bookmobile operates as a mobile literacy initiative. And since 2017, the Bookmobile has donated over 50,000 books to elementary age students in the Bartow County area. The Etowah Foundation strives to equip individuals in the county with financial resources, educational resources, and literacy initiatives for lifelong learning and success. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy today's episode. Hello everyone, my name is Raina Roberts. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist at the Etowah Foundation. This is the Alumni Network podcast, episode, I'm not sure, but we have Alexis Pritchard here.
Hi, Raina.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure.
We've chatted with your husband, Zach, about his business and talked a little bit about the Pritchard Community Challenge.
Yes.
We'll get into that more
Okay.
in a little bit. But for listeners meeting you for the first time, who are you and what do you do?
Currently, I am most famously known as the wife of the guy on the billboards. So that's me.
Yes.
Longtime Bartow County resident, born and raised in Cartersville, which I loved sitting and listening to you and Zach chat. That you feel like it's different, than in where you're from, Cherokee County, maybe, that you don't hear that quite as much, but people come back here all the time. Or at least they did. I hope they still do. We have two daughters in sixth grade and third grade in the Cartersville City School System. I was initially, my first career, I guess I can officially say that now, I was a high school counselor for 15 years and then left to help Zach get the law practice kind of off the ground. And I'm still there with him full time. I'm the finance director there. And then about a year ago, decided what fun it would be to add one more iron to the fire. And we purchased Canopy Home Decor downtown Cartersville. So, you'll find me in the car, professionally taxiing my children around from sporting events or at the Zach's office or at Canopy or, just having a good cry downtown.
Well, what do you care most about the community?
So and kind of in lies our relationship with the Etowah Foundation, and you mentioned it with Zach. There's so many wonderful philanthropies in Cartersville and Bartow County, and we're very fortunate to live in a place where folks like to give back. We want to make good better. Kayla says it all the time. We want to make good better. We want to make better best. And so we really want to see this place thrive. And so folks are really, really giving But the Etowah Foundation is something that has always kind of had our hearts. Zach's grandmother was a career educator. My mother was a career educator at Cartersville. And then I worked there in Cartersville at Cartersville High School for 10 years.
Yeah, amazing.
Watching things shift, watching education itself go through a lot of different time periods has been interesting. But watching the foundation evolve so much over the last, 20, 30 years. I mean, it is definitely not the scholarship foundation of yesteryear. It has morphed. And I think a really direct result is watching what education needs. So I shared this yesterday with Donna, one of the Future Center's advisors, on WBHF with Alan Sanders yesterday. So a fun little piece of information. The American School Counselor Association has a recommendation. It's not a law. It's not a rule like teachers have with space in their classrooms. Just a guideline for 250 students per counselor.
Yes.
Which is outrageous.
Outrageous to begin with.
And schools don't typically stick to that guideline. We're typically teetering on like the 300, 350, maybe even 400 in some like rural places per counselor. And you guys, if you've seen like kids these days, the social, emotional issues that they're dealing with, social media, which is like kind of a bear all in and of itself. But then the academic piece, how are you doing in school? Transcripts, counselors have to do transcripts, scheduling, and a lot of other, in some places, even tasks that they really shouldn't be doing that are not their lane.
Yeah.
So when you talk about, and their main goal is making sure kids get through high school.
Yeah.
But truly to help hold their hand through an application process.
Yeah.
Assessing what they want to do. What they don't want to do, which is just as important, trying to figure out, oh God, let me not waste 2, 3, 4 years in college on something that I really shouldn't be wasting my time on.
Yeah.
And a number of other things, financial aid, FAFSA, lots and lots of things. Etowah Foundation came up with, you can test to it, Future Centers. Are they loving it?
Yeah.
I
mean, at least even on my side, like, I was homeschooled all the way up until college, and my parents were you're going to college, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, it's like the 13th grade. You're going.
You're going, there's no option out of that. And I went, I went and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I didn't understand that I was racking up student loans in the process of not understanding what I wanted to do. And there's no shade towards my parents. They're both in higher ed. That is their love language is education. They've been very big supporters of education. But I do, on the other side of it, I see the complicatedness of it when you're 18,
100%.
when you're 17, and you don't understand what interest means.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a $20,000 loan.
Yep.
So,
or even parents. I mean, I think even though you are higher, education, like my mother was in education, just being in education or knowing your student, knowing your child doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to get every resource possible when you apply to college, any kind of financial aid. It just doesn't mean that you know all of those things.
Yeah.
So I think having somebody now, Future Centers, in the high schools working alongside the counselors just to help as an added, just another asset is really a cool thing. And they can focus truly just on post-secondary.
Even in the 2024-25 year, I think we saw over 2,000 visits to the our Future Centers, at least in Bartow County. So it's obvious
working.
that kids are wanting it, and kids are interested in learning more about their options after school. I mean, even with Cass High School, when I first started last year, I think the percentage of seniors who asked for their official transcripts was somewhere in the 40-50% range.
That's a really interesting
And so
piece
you're
of
like,
data.
you know, Lee's big question was, where are they going if they're not going to school?
Yeah.
And
No, I
that
love
just,
that.
I feel like, is a big, kind of like a scope into the
for sure.
teenage mind.
We used to get
nowadays.
not asked all the time, but it's funny, we would hear from students, you know, whether it be like surveys or just through the grapevine, that, you know, my counselor really didn't help me, you know, a lot. And we used to get so frustrated because in a classroom guidance lesson about the FAFSA with 32 kids and one counselor, and and we did that like all day. So that, you know, I would love to so let me say it this way. We were an inch deep and a mile wide. So we could touch and we could do crisis management, just make sure, are you okay? Can I get you back to class?
Yeah.
Because I've got 17 others right behind you. Having the future center advisors in the schools to be able to go that depth that sometimes high school counselors just are physically not able to do is a really, really cool thing.
Yeah. Well, you, with your experience as a school counselor, what did that role teach you about what people actually need when they're feeling overwhelmed or having those feelings about the future?
So, again, for me, on the public school side of things, crisis management is always our first. It's our top priority. So we have to make sure that kids are like mentally, physically, emotionally safe and stable. I mean, that's just academically safe and stable. We have to make sure that kids are going to graduate high school, that the kids who are not coming to school for 42 days in their senior year, what's going on with them? Are there hurdles, are there obstacles that we can help with? So what we saw was that we did a really good job of meeting those needs. But the kids who were in the middle, that middle bubble, were kind of not getting the attention they needed. So, and it's funny, my counselor friends who hear this are going to be like, what are you saying? But it's you know, that the top 10 or 20% get a lot of attention. The bottom 10 or 20% get a lot of attention for a totally different set of reasons. But your average student, which is where I fell in high school, I wasn't anything amazing, I didn't need all this attention and support, but I was on this middle bubble. And I didn't get a ton of support. I also didn't ask a lot of questions too. So I just sort of fell. I went to college. It was great, but there were definitely untapped resources. You know, my mom was a teacher. My dad worked at Anheuser-Busch. There were funds and there were resources for me that I didn't go after. I didn't seek out. So that middle large chunk, I think, is what Future Centers is going to really, really help to touch those kids who still need the support and need the knowledge.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that assistance can be.
Oh, 100%. There's so many different kinds of assistance out there and supports out there. Financial, other things. I mean, people, knowing that I can go and I can ask, you know, Madison McKinney, like, how was your experience, and bring it back to me and tell me this, and what do you think, and bounce ideas off of, where it isn't your parents, where you're a generation removed from having gone through the experience. Like, I can assure you that writing down on a sheet of paper the FAFSA the way that I filled it out is definitely not how the FAFSA gets filled out these days. You know, everything's electronic, and so having a touchstone, I think, is a cool thing that you guys provide.
Yeah. I mean, even in my experience of applying to college, my dad, like I said, he's in higher ed, knows the full ins and outs of FAFSA, but was cursing up a storm when trying to fill out the FAFSA for us.
It's tricky.
He was so done with it.
It's absolutely tricky, yeah.
And it's hard, like, at least for me, when I think about, like, a family, let's say they work, 18 hours a day, or, you know,
Yeah,
like 12 hours a day. They get home. The last thing that they're going to want to do
100%.
is look at their taxes and look at their,
100%.
you know, try and get as much support out
Yep.
of federal funding as they can.
Absolutely.
While they're also exhausted and
Yep.
trying to do the best for their kid.
We had gotten to the last couple years at the high school, we would do a FAFSA night where, because we knew it was such a beast and such a bear, one time a year, we might have even done it like 2 or 3 nights, but we would offer pizza and we would do it after hours. So, you know, giving of our time after the school day to invite families in to sit down with them and go through it, because it's a daunting task, even for those who like live it. It's daunting.
Yeah.
So we would, you know, offer the support and the hand holding, but we would still, we knew it. We knew we were still missing people, whether they didn't hear the announcement, to come in and we'll help you. Or again, it's intimidating. Education can be a very intimidating arena for parents who didn't finish high school, for parents who maybe are not from this country, or who don't speak the language, or I'm exhausted and I work third shift and I just can't make it work, or, you know, the list of things that will keep families from getting assistance is crazy. So meeting the kids where they are is one of the best ways to do it.
So how did your experience as a counselor, how does that show up in your life today? Like, how do you see it in how you lead, how you serve the community?
That's a great question.
How you manage your family?
I miss my kids. I miss my high school kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. We have, at Pritchard Injury Firm, we have 8 local Bartow County former graduates. Like Kayla went to Woodland High School.
Who work at the firm now?
Who work at the firm now.
Oh, amazing. Wow.
Julie, she's our pre-litigation, one of our pre-litigation paralegals, who has been with us, other than Zach and myself, the longest. So she's coming up on 5 years. She was my intern in the counseling department at the high school. She was also a recipient of a scholarship from the Etowah Foundation. So we've got 2 former recipients.
Amazing.
8 Bartow County graduates. Like, we really like grabbing talent from the community. Obviously I use my counseling skills a whole lot less, but I miss my high school kids. I miss young people who don't know what they want to do and who need direction. I like assisting them. So I also like the flip side of the coin, seeing my young people who at one point didn't know what they want to do and they're thriving. And you know, one of my former students who started now, and it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A model at the law office. Everybody starts like a receptionist and they end up, well, I'd like this job and I'd like this job, and they're paralegal. We have our director of pre-litigation. She's over all of our paralegals, is a former Cartersville High School graduate. She's phenomenal. So watching these former students, like, not just survive, like thrive and kill it is really
being able to be in such close proximity
to like success, like
that,
right in front of your face is really cool.
Well, that's awesome. So you own Canopy. How do you describe it to somebody who's never been there?
So Canopy is fun. It's a nice escape. It's like clean and happy.
It is very clean.
And bright and cheerful, except for the days when FedEx brings like 27 boxes for us to unbox. It's a very happy, cheery place. It's a great little place to escape and find things that you never knew you needed. Oh,
yeah. I've bought my daughter one of those little backpacks. They're like I can't remember what the name of the fabric is, but you guys sell the little backpacks, little kids'
Is it Apple
backpacks.
of by Isla? Yeah.
Yes, I mean, she loves it.
So fun. It's so fun.
Yes. So, what do you want people to feel when they walk into Canopy?
Kind of an extension of what we've talked about this morning. I mean, we joke on social media a lot, like, come by and just let me hug your neck. Like, I did the education thing, I do the numbers thing, and then I really just want it to be a happy place. And we've had people come in, and I love getting into conversation. that, again, I'm working on numbers and finance at the law practice. I'm like I'm either doing it at home at night, or I'm up in my office, like upstairs away from everybody with the door shut, trying to crank out, work. So being able to like, hey, how you were sick last week, how are you feeling today, and what's going on in your life, is just, it speaks to my heart. Yeah, it's fun to get out and talk to people and see what's going on with them.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you're owning a business. Before that, you were the CFO, I'm assuming, for Zach and his and the law firm. What has the past, let's say, 10 years taught you about yourself?
Oh my God.
Owning a business, being integral to the success of the law firm.
So many different things. Honestly, how do I say this? The important things, the things that I thought were important a long time ago, probably not as important as I thought they were. Family, God, and loving people is like all life is about. A lot less me, a lot more them, a lot more other people, a lot more God. But yeah, just life is short. Life is really short.
Yeah.
Have fun and be happy and do what you love and work hard, but play hard and enjoy your loved ones, and getting a chance to love on other people, I think, is what life is just a lot about.
Yeah.
We are super, and I know you're going to pivot there in a minute, but we are super excited. Zach and I had a long conversation early in 2026 about wanting to do, I say early in 2026, it's early now. In January, we always kind of have like a budget meeting for the year, and we talk about what we see for ourselves. And this year is a lot more about other people.
Yeah.
And so when Lee and I talked, your director at the foundation, Lee and I talked about a month or two ago, early in January, February maybe. We definitely want to dive into philanthropic ventures. And we have ever since the law practice will be 7 years old this summer. And we have always supported lots of different organizations in Cartersville, but we just keep getting drawn back to young students. And the traditional students are, again, I tell you, the Etowah Foundation is not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago. And the students that it serves are also not the same as they were 20, 30 years ago. So a few years ago, Lee asked me to serve as one of the readers for the scholarship recipients and the essays and the applications. I was like, sure, that sounds like so much fun. And on like hour 74 of reading essays, I thought, oh my God, what have I done? But the cool thing is when it was done, watching a group of people very strategically match applicants with donors based on background, based on talents, based on desires in college or, post-secondary trades. And then watching the majority traditional student become less and less traditional. The minority population is up a huge amount. I wish it were more still. But watching single moms apply, watching, young men who maybe didn't go to college right out of the gate, but they want to go back and have a trade. And we had partnered with, Chattahoochee Tech and Georgia Northwestern and local community members who own welding companies, who own plumbing companies, partner with these kids and apprentice with this. It was just really cool thing to watch the morph. Watch things change. So anyway, we are excited in 2026 to not only offer a matching challenge on a monthly basis, but we're going to do it for the whole year. So we're going to match up to $50,000 for Etowah Foundation donors in 2026. And we all challenge, I know you challenge, Lee challenges, I challenge everybody to get involved. I joked yesterday with Alan on the radio about how, like, I've had a membership, and I won't tell you at which gym, for like 18 months now. Ask me how many times I've been there. So for a year and a half, $35 has been taken out of my checking account, and it goes to this place, and I get nothing for it.
Oh, I have a Y membership. I've been once. It was for a boot camp workout class. And
boot camp's the most expensive boot camp you've ever been to.
I have yet to go back. I was kind of traumatized by it, but
right. But then you've not canceled it.
Though. It's so true. Yeah,
gosh,
exactly.
if I could just pivot that money to the Etowah Foundation, a recurring $35 a month, I promise you would go a whole lot farther with a student who wants to go to college than it does with getting Alexis Pritchard in the gym. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
But we are very much in the throes of a challenge of, we hope to match up to $50,000. We hope to match a full $50,000 in 2026 for the students, traditional, non-traditional, of Bartow County.
Yeah. I mean, with a challenge like that, it's so, I think my draw to nonprofit work is the fact that nonprofits, when the broader establishments like federal funding or state funding don't come in, they don't provide what they need to be providing. It's communities that step in. And
here's what's wild, and I still to this day it shocks me, because I never thought about this before. Picture funding for college. Picture your first year in college in a milk jug. Okay. FAFSA, well, not FAFSA. Let me back up. We are very fortunate to live in a state that is funded by that we have something like the Hope Scholarship that's funded by the Georgia Lottery, which is amazing for students who have decent grades. They get some funding, okay, if they go to a public institution in the state of Georgia. If you were to fill up a milk jug with what it cost you to go to college your first year, Hope Scholarship only covers tuition. Do you know how much of that milk jug is things other than tuition? It's about half, if not a little bit more.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Room and board, a meal plan,
Parking,
yes. To be able to go to the health facilities there. If you need to go to the health facilities there, that's a fee. So all of these fees, books, which I don't know what they do about books anymore, because I know you're not actually buying books, but anyway, electronic, whatever. Those things are really expensive, and they mount up, and Hope Scholarship doesn't cover those. Again, we're super fortunate that it covers tuition up to a portion, 80, 85, or 90%. But just like you said, there's a gap. Federal government only goes so far. State government or state, organizations only go so far. You need things to fill in the gaps. You need other resources.
Especially in, these times where the cost of everything is just rising with every year. And then the amount of support kind of just stays the same a little bit sometimes, which any type of support from whether it's state or federal or is helpful, and it does amazing things
adds up
for
and it's
people,
great.
and it does add up. But
however,
sometimes it doesn't keep up with the rate of how much everything is costing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so you're launching the Pritchard Community Challenge. I'm just going to reiterate it. It's every month through the end of the year, you'll be matching gifts up to $5,000 a month. Let's see, what is something you want people to understand why you show up in the way that you do through this challenge?
Because it's funny because I think about my mom and that age group, that generation here in town. I think they get it think they understand these retired educators. My mom goes out to eat with retired educators that she taught with like once a month, and they're about to go on their annual beach trip, the 5 or 6 of them, and they go to the beach together. I think they understand that they have to leave it to the next generation better than, you know, they left it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. My generation needs to understand that now too. We are not going to be here forever. And pretty soon we're going to need the doctors that are in college now. Mm-hmm. And we're going to need the tradesmen. We're going to need folks to still know how to service our HVAC and build our homes and frame our houses and all the things. We need the next generation to want to come back to Bartow County. Mm-hmm. We want to support them to go out and get a quality education, a quality certification, to bring their quality citizenship back to Bartow County.
And not break their bank while they're doing it.
And not just be completely upside down when they come back.
Yeah.
So we want to invest in, selfishly, our community, but for the benefit of our future too.